This and all episodes of the podcast have been brought to you by our generous patrons over at Patreon, the DayZ podcast. If you're interested in finding out more about how you can support the show each week, then please click the link in the description down below to find out more information about Patreon, the DayZ podcast. Thank you for your support.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
Hello.
Oi. How are you doing?
Thanks, mate.
Bear with me, I'm just trying to get the camera going real quick. Oh, come on. So obviously it will be now, right now, when things start breaking. Right, I'm just gonna go out of Discord and come back again.
Still waking up low on cup of coffee number one. See, I don't drink coffee, so I do like it with my chair. It's actually comfortable though, so we'll chuck a pillow behind us. That's better. And if I bring Discord up on my phone, it can act like a fourth monitor. I can keep an eye on bits and bobs from there. Magic, I think. Now all I need to do is remember what was my key binding or hotkey that I set up to mute my microphone at any given moment in Streamlabs. Or did I not? Apparently I didn't set one up. Oh well. Oh well. Shit doth happeneth.
Brim, is that your bed that I see just in the bottom right?
Just over my shoulder here, yeah.
Is that to stop it banging off the wall? Yeah.
Do you know what? Ironically, it actually is. That's literally packaging from, I don't even know what parcel it was. And the worst thing is, it's not even because of any sort of decent sex life. It's because I'm a fat fuck and when I move, my headboard moves. I'd like to say it's because I'm some virile young man who's getting it, but it's not. It's really not. It's just purely because it's fucking annoying.
Hey, right, we're getting there.
Yeah, I usually cover that with my green screen when I'm actually doing green screen related things, so it's very rare that it's even visible, but fuck it, it's staying there.
Okay, this is looking good. Everything's looking good. Except I'm missing and chat window. Perfect. Okay, I think we're ready.
Ready when you are, mate.
Okay, well, welcome everyone to the DayZ podcast. This is where I show my inexperience straight away because I haven't got a clue what episode it is. Brim, can you?
36. And funny enough, until about 5 minutes ago, neither did I. I had to look back on my VOD from last week. We're in the same boat, mate. I forget it every single week.
Well, thank you for pulling me out there straight away. The first one. We're joined with Foxypote and Val. How you doing, boys?
Yeah,
good, thanks. All good here.
Good. And our special guest this week is Windstride, as you can tell by the title. How you doing, Windstride?
Hey, how are you doing?
Very good,
right.
mate. Nice to meet you as well.
Yes,
well,
nice to meet you.
I've spoke to you before, actually. It was a long time ago, if you remember.
I'm not sure.
I do believe you
this
made a clothing item for me. Yeah. I think it was a she-mag or something like that.
Oh.
I'm sure it was you. Yeah, I think so, anyway.
I remember.
Yeah. But anyway, pleasure to have you on the show.
Pleasure's mine, man.
Good. Okay, well, to kick things off, do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself, mate?
I'll
put you on the spot there. Hello, there we go.
Well,
You don't have to give away
Uh,
too much personal information. Say what you're comfortable with, mate. Don't worry.
no, it's all good, man. About myself, uh, I started my career as an artist. First of all, I apologize for my clunky English.
English is fine, mate. Carry on.
Yeah, I started doing graphic design in college because I've been very passionate about
Oh, you scared the
3D animation and games and audiovisual and in general, and the 3D world since I was very young. And I did not conclude my course, but I finished my final conclusion project, which was an animated short, a 3D animated short by the time.
Okay.
And ever since, I didn't ever got a full-time job as an artist. I just kept on freelancing and taking commissions. And I think was earlier past year that I started dipping my toes in DayZ modding. I've played DayZ since it first released in 2013 as a mod, and I got a buddy, the guy that owns OP based items.
Yeah.
He was the one that first showed me and helped me how to mod and implement my first item. That's where that all started pretty much. And I kept on just taking commissions ever since and working on a mod, really.
Okay. So, what was your inspiration for? In case anybody doesn't know, let me just share this screen. Where are we? There we go. Okay. So, just in case anybody was not familiar, this is one of Windstride's mods, the Windstride clothing pack. What was your inspiration for starting the clothing pack then? Was that what motivated you to do it?
I'm not sure. I only saw retextures of items by the time, and I am very attached to how my character look in game, really, and I always wanted new clothing pieces. So we started dipping our toes into that. I knew modeling already. OP knew how to implement some stuff in the game. He was a bit more advanced. He taught me retextures, but that was not what I wanted to do because there was so many people doing that already. I wanted to bring more original content that no one is doing because I had the 3D abilities already, so it would help a lot. But yeah, ever since I got inspiration from different games, really. A few games, Last of Us, I don't know, even Tarkov, Metro, yeah, various places with post-apocalyptic themes. I really like this theme, and I think DayZ has lots of potential for new assets still.
Yeah. You enjoying your food there, Brim?
Got to keep some chewing gum going. Keep me awake and
Oh,
alive.
it's chewing gum. Chewing gum.
Windstride, can you remember what your very first item was that you modded?
Yes, it was the leggings. It was very complicated to get it done. It's the first item.
Got these on the screen here now. I've seen quite a few streamers wearing the leggings. They've proved popular.
Yeah.
Well,
they were
played
different by then. They got remastered.
Yeah, I played a little
They were
110 yesterday, and it looks like the vanilla leggings are sort of like high insulation. So I think that you're probably going to see, I don't know what it's like for modded clothing as much at the moment, but I can imagine we'll probably see a lot more people running around in clothing like that if it's going to offer some good, some good insulation to the new weather changes.
Yes, I'm not sure how my clothing are. I'm not sure if they're working 100%. I tested a little bit, and the insulation values of clothing were showing, although I'm using the old parameters as they changed a lot of things weather related. So I'll still take a closer look at that, and probably I'll rebalance my clothing to match 1.10 environmental changes.
Okay, that's what you've brought me. I thought I'd be all professional, and I've got a list of questions right on another
Yeah, it's all
screen,
good.
so you can't see him, right? So it makes me look like I know what I'm doing. But you've kind of skipped through the thing, so I'll just have a look here. So, first, what are your thoughts on the 1.10 update then?
I really like it so far. I didn't think I was going to see fractures back in the game, officially implemented at least. I like it. I like the changes to the V3S. Bit sad that I can't carry 10 friends in the back anymore, but we can carry a base in the back of it now. So it's still interesting. Yeah, I like it. I think I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure if we'll have it or not, like bows, for example.
Yeah, I mean, you've got there's modded bows out there already, isn't there? But it'd be
I think
cool.
there's modded crossbows. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good to see them come back. They were a favourite of people for a while. Broken Bones. I think that's almost like a Christmas present at this point. Like everybody's been wanting it for so long, and
Yes.
they've got it in for Christmas. I feel that's our little treat, I reckon. So, whilst we're talking, and you was mentioning about insulation and stuff, then, so Namalsk is obviously on the way. Will you be updating your clothing pack to allow for Namalsk, some new items for Namalsk?
I have one item that I'm hoping to manage to release along with Namalsk, or when it comes out. That
Okay.
is snow boots. It's still a concept. I have nothing to show yet, but I hope I can get it done before Namalsk comes out.
Oh, like the tennis racket looking things that go on the bottom of your those sort of boots, you mean?
No, it's insulated high knee boots with fur around it, with fur around the higher part. I don't know.
Okay, yeah, sort of like going up to your knee almost or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some better looking version of Ugg boots, essentially. only a lot better looking. Because let's be honest, Ugg boots are known because they are ugly.
Right. Okay. So let's see. I'm got to get used to this flowing into the next question bit and all that. It's new to me. It's new to me.
It's so good.
So I don't know if you know your current subscriber number, but I was looking, and I think we can see on here now 704,000 current subscribers to your mod.
Yes, that is pretty crazy.
You've got, yeah, I was going to say that's got to be pretty exciting. Did you ever think that your mod was going to blow up to that sort of level?
Absolutely not. I didn't expect much when I first released it, but yeah, pretty amazing.
That's good. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of people who've got to be wearing your clothing on servers.
Yes.
That's got to make you pretty, you know. All the time you can go on a Twitch stream or whatever, and you can spot people wearing your stuff.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I was watching Shroud a while ago when he was on DayZ, and I managed to clip him saying, "Oh man, I love the poncho." I was so excited about that.
Mate, there you go then. That you couldn't get a better one than that, could you? Oh, look, there's Helkiana's in the chat. She's saying she loves Windstride clothing. It's honestly the best mod out there.
Hey, Helki, how you doing? Thank you. Yeah, she helps me out a lot. There's a good ton of her scripting in the mod, really, behind the canvas backpack.
Right. I've got help gets my thanks this week as well, because the 1.10 update forked a lot of things in my server mod, and when I did a little scan for how many things were broken, the things that came back, the list was a bit of a shock to me. I'm not gonna lie, and I was struggling. And help pulled me out of the caca.
Yes, she
Oh my,
does that.
she's a legend. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know exactly how many items you've got in your mod. Do you know how many?
I don't, to be honest.
It's got to be.
Take a
It's got to.
quick look. It's up to around 20, I think. Let's see.
Around 20. I didn't. This was. So I
It's
was
around
obviously
16 if you're counting the pins as well as night.
okay. I'm just shocked. I love what I didn't even know you could do this on. I've never seen this on Steam before for a DayZ mod where they've got the models on your page and you can have a
Yes.
real good look at what they look like. I think I never even knew. I've never seen that before.
Not all models are there. It's a website called Sketchfab where you can.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar. I'm familiar with Sketchfab. Yeah, I didn't realize it could be put onto Steam like this. It's awesome to see the stuff like that. Sometimes the picture doesn't give you a good idea of what things look like. So, out of all the items you've got, what's your favorite item? The one you most enjoyed working on, and what's the one you hated working on, or found the most of a struggle?
As I improve from time to time, I always look back at the first items I implemented, and I start finding them to be really ugly, and I eventually remake them. But the one I think I enjoyed working the most was I really enjoyed working in the legs in the first place because it had the cool feature that was new to everyone, where you get holes in the pants when it's damaged. But I didn't know anything about modding back then. After that, it was fun developing the canvas backpack and the winter parka. The winter parka was really fun because I got the chance to work with fur for the first time. Also, not long ago, I commissioned a bear headdress for smoke for day one servers.
Yep.
That was fun working with as well because I never modeled anything related to an animal really, apart for a cartoon animal for my short movie. But other than that, it's pretty interesting. Be able to implement for how it's implemented in games, like with planes, with transparent textures and all. It's quite a challenge.
That bear headdress has become quite iconic now. You see that around quite a lot. Streamers wearing it and everything.
Yes.
That's got to make you pretty happy when you see your work all the time like that.
So, well, I'm glad everyone enjoyed that.
Yeah. So, okay, let me move on. You've thrown me off track here now. I've got to go through my list of questions. Oh, that's something I meant to touch on with the success of your mod. Have you found there's been any downsides to it, or has it all been really positive?
It's been mostly positive, really. Downsides, not really. You get people annoying you from time to time, but I think that's normal if you're a modder. People I allowed to repack my mod, and then a new update comes out, and everyone I allowed to repack my mod in some manner with only specific items. I need to pack the mod again with the changes for the new patch with those specific items, and it gets annoying. It can get annoying, but other than that, not really. It's been positive. Yeah, feedback is usually positive. People are not toxic. Pretty great, to be honest.
That's good to hear. I think certainly as a server owner, I've experienced the toxic side of it a bit, and sure some of the boys there have as well.
Yeah, Unfortunately, some people just are predisposed to being arseholes. But I'm quite glad to hear that none of them have seemed to found their way to the Windstride side of things. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I've got a quick question, Windstride. Not too long ago, you added like the wet texture on all your clothing, right? How hard was that to get working how you wanted it to?
For me, it was pretty simple. You should probably ask that Helkian. I forgot to mention that's her scripting as well. The wet closing, she wrote the script. I had an idea that it would not be very hard because we already have textures and materials that changes when stuff get damaged. So I figured it wouldn't be that hard to trigger a change in the texture and the material if the clothes are wet. And that's something I really think should be in the base game. It should have been since the start, to be honest. But since it's not, I wanted to do that with my mod, and the plan was to do it with all vanilla items. But I didn't manage to get to that. It's a lot of work. It's not hard, but it's a massive work because so many items and variants. My side is pretty simple. I just get a darker color texture, and I make the material a bit shinier, the specular and the glossy. That's about it. You have shiny look.
It is like I think it's the only clothing item I've seen have that happen to it. I've never seen anything else get wet or anything like that. So it's nice to see that implemented.
Yeah.
That's the level of detail that a lot of clothing mods and stuff don't go to. Like a lot. There's a lot of retextured stuff out there, obviously, and some of it's I won't say bad, but you've gone the extra level with yours, definitely. I look over at some of the pieces, so I'm trying to think what kind of game style, how you like to play. Is it are you a survivory type player, or a bit of a bandit? Maybe I'm looking at some of these things and I think maybe there's a bit of bandit in you.
You just need to show them the Green Mountain videos, Windstride.
That's true. I didn't know you know that, Foxy. What the fuck?
We used to play in the village, didn't we? So the broadcaster, right?
Was there where we first met?
Yeah, it was years ago as well. He used to do like broadcasts on
Green Mountain.
Green Mountain, yeah, Green Mountain. He made a couple of videos about it on the village server. It was really cool, actually.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
That's on my channel if you want to check that out. It's old, but it's interesting.
Go on, you can drop a link to your channel in chat, or if you've got it.
Sure, I'll grab one. But I'm okay. Guest bios.
Is that the one that you posted, Foxy?
Yeah.
Oh,
excellent.
Okay. But I'm really not.
Is there anything in the video that would potentially get a DMCA strike? Before I play anything.
I think so. As the video is not monetized, it's I'm pretty sure there are songs that
We'll not risk that one then, but we'll invite everybody to go and check.
Yeah,
we'll invite everybody to check the videos out themselves there.
Yeah, play the video, but not the audio, and you should be all right.
Yes.
I take it then from that. Then you're like you like the full experience of DayZ then.
Yes. It's very rare me playing as a bandit or KOS. If I trade one word with someone, I will already feel really bad for killing them. I can't handle it. I'm usually into organic roleplay. That's my thing. Hardcore survival and organic roleplay.
Cool. I think you with that play style especially, you invest a lot of time into your character.
Yes.
Which and then that especially if that's your type of play style, that probably had a bit of a a reason for why you created your mod. Because when you've got the stuff in your mod, you can really make your character look individual.
Yes.
So it's great for those people that really invest time into their character.
Yeah, I'm really attached to how my character look because there's not a great deal of customization and personalization where you can feel represented by your character on DayZ because you can't create a character. There's only a few select models, and I think clothing is 90% of how you personalize your model, your character. I mean. So I grew really attached to how my character look, and I can't see myself playing on a server that doesn't have my mod today. Not because it doesn't have my mod. I'm not even gonna play there. It's because my look is composed with most pieces are from my mod. I always rock the leggings, the baseball t-shirt, the sneakers, and the
But
beanie.
if you've gone through all that effort of making the mod, you want to wear some of it, right?
Yes, damn it.
Yeah, Elkiana's just put in chat there. I spent 2 hours suiciding on a PvE server trying to get my character that I wanted.
Ah. Yes, I don't play when I don't get my character as well. I need to set it before I needed to set it on the menu, load the game, not launched, the launcher. Select the character in the menu every time I launch the game, and then join the server. It's harsh. It's fixed now.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I was going to say at one point when they introduced that they brought back the custom character feature, haven't they?
Yes, great.
So, I mean, I touched on it a little bit. I asked about the mouse, but have you got any plans for the future? Not just forgetting, or not focused on the mouse. I mean, in general, have you got any plans for any more items, new mods, stuff like that?
I've new items planned that some I'm working on, some are just concepts for now. But apart from that, I'm working on a guitar mod. I'm not sure how much I can claim on that because Helkiana and Zeroy are involved, and I don't know how much they want to be claimed.
Yeah, I know of the project. Yeah.
Yes, I haven't done much yet. They did most of it. Zeroy with the animations, and he got the guitar model of the internet, and Helkiana scripting. And I'm supposed to be helping with some models and perhaps improve the guitar model, stuff like that. And hopefully I will learn something about implementing animations with Zeroy because I have planned for new animations for DayZ. There's lots of possibilities, and I know how to animate as well as I know how to model. So it would be pretty cool to learn how to implement animation on DayZ.
So during your time, this is kind of one of the questions I was going to ask. Actually, is there anything that you would like to see introduced to modding that would make your modding life easier, or be able for you to do new things? Is there anything you like to do at the moment that DayZ modding's limiting you?
I'm not sure because my extent in modding knowledge isn't that big. I'm more of a 3D artist, but I'd love some quality of life improvements to Bohemia tools really, but I don't think we're getting any of that. It's just their tools are so obsolete and old. Every time I need to preview something of my mod, I need to launch the game, or if I want to proxy an item on my backpack, for example, the items that you can attach to it, they're proxies, and it's really awful positioning them in Object Builder, which is their 3D software. It's just it's really clunky.
I am familiar with Object Builder and I'm useless at it. I see everybody that uses it and they just amaze me. I can manage like maybe a square thing in Object Builder. Simple square box is all I can deal with.
Yes. Yeah, I just do what I really need to do in there. Other than that, I just go for an actual 3D software. Like I use 3ds Max times, but it's
Okay.
my main 3D software. There are others. It will make your life much easier to just grab a 3D software, do everything you need there, modeling, mapping, texturing, and you just implement what you need to in Object Builder.
Excellent. Okay. I've got a fact now. I might be running out of questions here. One moment. I told you it wasn't going to be a professional one this week.
Don't worry, you can chat about everything, man.
Well, let me jump in and pose a quick question to you then, Windstride.
Please.
Going off what Wiidevil asked you a minute ago about future plans and things. In an ideal world, assuming that anything was possible, what is the one sort of dream thing that you would like to see for DayZ? It could be anything at all.
Well, I'd love lots of. Some of them were even on the roadmap a few years ago. Like, take a look at 2016 roadmap. That was exciting. We were supposed to have animal companions, man. I want horses in the game. I want horses back. I want poles. I wish it was easier to build underground structures in the map, which you can't cut holes in the terrain of DayZ, which is unfortunate and makes building underground terrain very intricate. I wish the lighting was better. It's really simple, and if you go into underground areas or really dark places, they're not dark because when it's daytime, there's only spotlight, sun spotlight, and shadow. It's really simple, the lighting, so it's hard to make dark environments dark.
Yeah.
Which is a letdown if you're building an underground structure. I believe Samrak mentioned that the underground areas of Namausk will be actually dark, even if it's daylight. I wonder how he managed that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I remember he said something about it when I think he said something about it on his stream once about that as well, saying I think it might have been in one of the trailers. He said it was literally going to be absolute pitch black darkness, during the day, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I'm with you on the whole animal companion thing. I would love to do that, but I did actually see, and I don't know if anyone else knows whether this is a recent addition or whether I'm just stupid, but I watched Anarchy's most recent video, and he got attacked by a pack of wolves, and he threw wolf meat that he already had in his bag across the, just got his character to just lob it, and these wolves all ran for the meat and started fighting each other over this wolf steak.
What?
And like I say, I don't know if it was he was on a modded server, so I don't know whether it was something to do with the mod or whether it's something that Bohemia added in vanilla. But I just thought it was brilliant.
For a while, actually, they will attract meat if you throw it.
Yeah, see, it's because I knew you could throw items in areas with zombies, and if you throw like any item in your bag, a zombie will aggro to that item to begin with, and then probably turn around and have a go at you. But I didn't realise that you could actually throw meat, and it would attract the wolves that were attacking you and make them go away. And it did give him that 30 seconds to jump out of the hunting stand he was in and run away, and he actually escaped from this pack of wolves. So, a little top tip from the podcast there: if you're ever stuck by wolves and you've got some spare meat on you, fucking lob it. They'll go for it, and you can run away.
That's top tip. I didn't even know that. I didn't know about that at all.
I didn't know about that until about 12 hours ago.
Okay, we're giving out tips now. This is what we're doing. Have any of the other lads got any questions?
Well, we've got a couple of pictures that we can show that we'll try to put in
Oh yeah.
artwork to use, Ben. If you pull that up on your screen,
Uh,
some
just-
stuff he's working on at a minute.
Let me find this. This Discord always gets me.
Towards the bottom, just above the admin
Towards
chat.
Yes. Thank you. Okay, yeah, we've got a lot of pictures here. How can I do this so that you can see them all? Okay, like that.
Oh yes.
Wish some of those mods worked on console.
base mesh.
Yeah, unfortunately, modding isn't
sketch
on
of the-
console, so
I want to make a double shoulder host pistol, and you obviously will be able to attach a banana to it as well if you want. If I manage to implement that.
Do you know something we don't know? We're going to be able to dual wield pistols soon.
That would
What?
be
Sorry?
something.
Are we going to be able to dual wield pistols soon? Do you know something we don't?
Nah. I wouldn't hope for that.
It looks cool though.
Yes.
That would be something that Kimbo pistols in DayZ.
can you imagine? That would be horrific in the funniest and best possible way.
Imagine that.
Every server becomes fucking Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Let's have a look at these other pictures here. Open this one. We've got another bag. It's a bag. Is there anything special about this bag? What am I?
Oh, that's the remake of the canvas backpack. I'm completely remaking it from scratch, the model, and I'm
Okay.
adding a few improvements to it. It's much more like the real concept, which is the Last of Us 2 backpack, Ellie's backpack from the Last of Us 2. And I'm also remaking some of the color variants, and it also has new selections for the shoulder straps now, so it doesn't look as floaty if the character has no vest, and it doesn't clip through the vest if he's got a vest on. If you have no vest, it will sit nice and tight in your shoulder, and if you have a vest on, it will look bulkier, and it will probably sit on top of the vest. But it's hard to make it work with all the vests, so it won't be perfect.
So stuff like that you do that makes your mod special, like all the little details that you think about.
Yeah, I try my best.
I think that is why your mod is so popular in comparison to a lot of other mods, because like Ben said earlier, there's a lot of retextured clothing packs out there nowadays, and some of them are really good, but none of them seem to quite have the same popularity as your clothing mod. You know, like you say, with having the wet clothing and the retextures and things, the way you do things seems to be quite unique to you in a way. It's almost like a signature.
Yes. I just like improving my pieces with everything I can. I mean, to the top level I can before I implement something new, because quality is more important. I'll just take as long as I need on an item until I feel it looks good, and if I can bring new features to it, that's great.
Mm-hmm. I know from like a personal experience with you is when I had my mask made, you have helped me for what was it, 2 or 3 hours to get it in game. It was my first model, and you sat there until it was perfect and helped me all the way through it.
Yes.
I often go back and read it all when I try something new to make sure I'm doing it all right. So I'm glad we still got that, because we typed it all out and I've got it all there, so I can just go back and read it if needs be. But yeah, that was like 3 hours. You just sat there and helped me all the way through it.
Yeah, I like helping people with when they have their struggles on modding, because I know how difficult it is when you're really invested in something and you really want to do something, but you simply can't find available knowledge of it or anyone to show you the ropes. First things you need to know to to begin, that's really frustrating. So every time someone comes to me asking for help, I try my best to aid them.
One thing I've noticed is not a lot of good tutorials on YouTube for DayZ modding.
That is true.
Like the retexture one, I think Septic Falcon's got the best one, and that works the best. But like when you go into more detail, I think you get Matthew Longtime's videos. They're a bit meh. So I don't know. It would be good if there was somebody in the community who could just upload videos on how to do it. I've seen Inclement Dab talking about certain things he might do on YouTube, but I'm not too sure whether he will.
Yeah, with the amount of times that I had to explain a certain process to very different people, I'm starting to think, yes, I should bring a video breakdown of how the process is, but I'm not sure if I should, because when you make it says how Kiana mentioned, when you make a video of the process, it's like you're setting it in stone, how you make it, and I wouldn't like that because I'm very new to modding, and if I do that, most of the implementation part will be me saying stuff like, okay, in this part you do this and you need this to be here. Why? Well, fuck knows, but if it's not there, it won't work.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
When you've
But
been
that help.
when you've been making all these various items, I suppose there's a never-ending battle of trying with issues with clipping. Have you had much of a battle with that?
Yes, a lot. In the first place, I think DayZ devs didn't quite prepare to, I don't know, to having clothing overlaying each other. I think they should have delimited some kind of limit internally to how bulky a vest can be, or a shirt, so it doesn't clip through. Some more attention to that, because there's clipping in the vanilla already, and it's hard to get rid of now. And with new items, I can't be bothered to load my item when it's nearly finished. I load my item into Object Builder and I proxy every single item in the game into Bulldozer just to take a look if what's clipping, what's not. I can only test that to a certain extent because it's really time consuming and the tools are not, doesn't make your life any easier. So it's really time consuming to get that right.
Especially like you say, because there's no sort of limit or anything like that, and then you've got loads of other modded clothing out there. You're in but your clothing will always fight with other people's and stuff like that as well.
I just wanted some kind of, I don't know, it would be an internal thing if they have that, but it would be like a box, or somewhat like a box that limits how bulky a vest can be, for example. So
yeah,
so every single vest is sitting inside that space. They're not clipping through. So if you're adding anything that goes on top of a vest, or I don't know, some headgear that goes on your shoulder, you will be able to know that it will sit right, because no vest is bulkier than that in the shoulder, or something like that. Those kind of limitations and references would be very nice. Also, new selections. I believe I posted a picture of skinny jeans that I'll be working on. It's just a sketch for now, and I plan to have different selections for it on the knees, not on the knees, but on the bottom part of it. So if you're wearing wellies or my knee-high sneakers or any kind of boots that go to the knee high, I plan to have a selection for that where it hides the bottom part of the pants, so the wellies or the boot sits on top of it, and at the same time, if you're wearing, I don't know, more regular sneakers or shoes, it will sit underneath the pants. That's something that the devs could have done with lots of clothing items, I believe. It can still be done if they want, but yeah, take some time.
Okay, close that picture. There's another one there that I spotted. Bag, yeah, I see this bag you've done. There we go, you've done a
Oh
attachment.
yes, that's
it-
more closer to implementation of the remaster of the backpack. It has the attachments working, and the wet states are working as well in this picture. It's mostly working internally.
Okay, so this is something that's going to be coming soon to your mod, yeah?
Yes, the revamp on the backpack will be coming next patch.
Okay. You've seen it here first, folks.
Podcast exclusive.
Yeah. Excellent. Oh, like those type of boots with all the boots you was talking about.
Yes, something like that. Mm-hmm.
They look pretty
It's a good
cool.
concept.
Yeah, they would be awesome on the mask.
How hard was it to, do you know, when you park a jacket, do you know, like the fur type texture? How hard was that to do?
The fur was interesting. Just like the bear headdress, the fur was my actual first time messing with fur on Infusion Engine, and it was a bit challenging. I don't think it looks that good if you take a closer look, but it's what I can get with. I'm using the tree shader, which makes you able to have the model interact with wind. It's the only shader that can do that, but it has its downsides. So the lighting looks a bit weird. The same for the poncho, but you need to choose
Yeah.
having it interact with the wind or having good lighting. But I think the parka was the model I spent more time on. All models, yeah. The high poly version of it was pretty complex, pretty hard to get right.
See, some people would think that a clothing mod would be on the simpler end of modding, but it's actually not, is it? Especially with the level of detail you're putting into stuff.
No, yeah, it's on a commission. I never take less than a week really to implement one clothing piece. There's developing the model already takes some time, the texturing, modeling, mapping, and then the implementation also takes quite a while. There are LODs, there are damage states. In my case, there's the wet textures. There's the skin weights as well, which you have to launch the game every time to test if it's working properly with the character. Because on the 3D software, even though we have the character and the animation tests made available with the DayZ character, it's not really the same in the game because first of all, idle position of the character is something I don't have access to. So most of the times you see the character in idle position. If I had that, I would know if my piece looks good or not in idle. If it looks good in idle, it will probably look good in other stance.
So you've got a lot of fans in chat here. I keep seeing Windstride is beautiful and everything.
A few of my friends are around. So.
Oh, all right.
So it looks like you got your pick of romantic partners there.
Oh, my girlfriend's there. Oh, nice, Juliana.
Yeah, you got all the support. Excellent. Right, is there any last questions from the guys before we move on to the agenda?
Not a question, more of a request. Like in DayZ, we're missing like a big long coat type of thing. There's one in the mod pack, but it looks really bad. Do you know, like a full body length? I don't know how to explain it. A trench coat? Is that what it would be called?
Flashomac, as we call them.
Yeah.
A trench coat. What do you want to know about it? How possible is it? It is.
Yeah, because I've not seen anything like that. It's one it covers your top half, then like down to your knees, basically. I'm not seeing
It's
anything
difficult. It is difficult on DayZ. The closer I got to that was a priest robe. I'm not sure if you've seen that, but I commissioned a priest robe for
No.
DayZ Underground for I believe it's a faction item, maybe for I don't know, I don't remember the name, but it's basically the zombie priest robe. I made that for the character, and it's very difficult to make it look good because we don't have proper clothing simulation physics. There's no physics on it. It would be just hard, a hard trench coat which moves along your leg, and it wouldn't look as good. You can make it interact with the wind, but then the lighting is bad. There's that whole aspect. So longer clothing are not really for DayZ. It's limited technologically, really. Not much we can do about that. We can implement something, but it won't look as good as good.
Okay. Well, this is the part of the show then where we will move on to the agenda and talk a bit more about what's going on in the world of DayZ in the last week or so. Bear with me while I find the agenda, even though I'm the guy that wrote it.
It's been a few doozies this week, I think, hasn't there, with 110 coming out and what have you.
Have a look. Where's the agenda gone? I've lost it. Ah, here we go. Let me scroll up. Okay. Close these things down. There's I think you put a link already to the YouTube in the chat, but there's Windstride's YouTube if you want to check out the Green Mountain videos that he was talking about earlier on. Right, okay, let's have a look. Topic number 1. Okay, now this one was highlighted by Val this week. I also spotted this as well, but we'll let Val have a chat on this. Obviously, Val's put here, surely there's better things for them to be spending money on. This is regarding the GlitchCon event, is that right, Val? And the perks the streamers, streamers got?
Yeah, it is, exactly, yeah. I think in a week when there's been so much kind of controversy, I suppose, around Twitch and certain things that they've been doing, it just seemed a bit short-sighted to me to be effectively throwing money at giving things to people when there was so many other ongoing issues. I understand maybe it was partially to do with, PR and trying to get a good story out there, but I think for me it just came across as a bit crass. Like, I'm not criticizing Twitch too much, as you understand that there's probably more reasons behind it, but I think for me it was just like I said, it seemed a bit crass. It seemed when they were so knee deep in so much shit during the past few weeks, and then to throw money sending people pointless items, in my opinion, it just seemed a bit silly, but it's their choice, so
yeah, I mean, for me, obviously there's been this whole DMCA drama to do with music and everything over the last few weeks. A lot of people's channels have had to, they've had to nuke all the content on there and stuff like that. And their response, Twitch's response to it all, has been very, so far, lackluster and not very good. It's had a bad reaction from the community, and there's been a lot of people screaming for them to make arrangements with the music companies so that people don't have to be so careful of what they're playing audio wise these days. And rather invest a few quid into the music companies, they seem to have sent these there's a lot of the main streamers that are like the top earners for them. They've got these trailers that are turning up at their houses with like full sort of streaming setups and everything in them. And I mean, I didn't quite understand why take a trailer with a streaming setup to a streamer's house who's already got a streaming setup. I didn't quite understand that logic. And then I think was it Pokimane ended up with a mansion or something that had been done over, like had a Twitch makeover.
Yeah, something like that. And I think I agree with what Helkiana's saying in the chat. It just comes across like they're making the rich richer. Like there's so many people struggling on Twitch, people, struggling to grow the channel, and people, genuinely at risk of losing their livelihoods at the minute. And just to send trailers and things like that is just bullshit, in my opinion. But it's my opinion, so.
The timing definitely seemed very strange, didn't it? Like you say, it's maybe I think they probably had this in the works for a while with the whole sending trailers around and doing GlitchCon things. They've probably had GlitchCon in mind for at least a year and probably couldn't foresee that there was going to be so much fallout and backlash from the DMCA stuff recently. It's kind of been a bit poor timing, generally speaking. So I think there's probably not a lot they could have done. But it does kind of seem a little bit, like you say, poor timing and in poor taste to a degree. And I mean, whether you like him or not, Devin Nash put out a video recently saying that basically he has absolutely zero trust and will be investing literally nothing apart from like in Twitch in the next 12 months. He does his live streams a couple of times a week, but his whole channel he's basically nuked it. He's deleted VODs, turned off the ability to create clips, and it's basically just a shell that's purely designed for when he goes live, and that's it. He's got next to no info on there, and he's pushing everything on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, places like that, because in his words, he's literally lost faith in Twitch because of everything that's happened recently, and I can kind of see where he's coming from on that.
I think as well this week, it kind of rubs salt in the wound that the story came out that you can effectively pay to be an affiliate as well.
Yeah.
Which, so many people have, sometimes struggled for years, streaming all the time to get to affiliate status, and now you can effectively pay for it as well. That seems equally as wrong, I think, in some ways. I think just it undermines a lot of people's hard work, and if you can just, I don't know, throw £6 a month to them and pay to be an affiliate, it's strange for me. I don't agree with it.
That's an actual thing, is it? You can now buy affiliate status.
Is it you pay for a service, isn't it? It's not.
Yes,
directly
it's called
through
Monster
Twitch.
Cat. It's a company called Monster Cat, and they're like a music service. So they do a lot of like DMCA free content, so you can get like music and stuff for your streams and what have you. It's kind of like a Spotify type deal, but without the big copyrighted names, essentially. And if you pay for I think it's their gold status, which is like £6-7 a month, you automatically get an application for Twitch affiliate. So you could see someone, from what I can tell, I haven't looked into it deeply, but from what I can tell, you could literally set up an email, set up a Twitch account, get everything up and running, pay this £5-6 a month, whatever it is, for this Monster Cat, and you could literally have 0 followers, no viewers, nothing, and still be Twitch affiliate. Which goes back to what Devin was saying, is that because he covered that as well, saying that like that shows how little Twitch actually cares about the Twitch affiliacy program in itself. That obviously they're going to care about their partners, because their partners are, the 0.003% or something of the platform. So they're the big guys that are bringing in the big bucks and, are doing well. Whereas people like us, who are sort of down a bit lower down the rung, so to speak, it's just a way of them kind of advertising on our channels and getting a little bit of money extra themselves.
Yeah, I think, like you say, I saw some of that Devin Nash video, and when I saw one where he explained, like you say, that even like the percentage of people that are big top earners for Twitch is like 0.001% or something like that. And it seems that they get the most love, and then everybody else just gets sort of tracked like a jolt, really. This whole situation lately, I mean, it seems to be that all other platforms and things are all improving massively, like at a quick rate, like YouTube, for instance. and streaming on there
Yeah.
seems to have way more benefits now, whereas Twitch just seems to keep proving that it seems to be run by people who just, I don't know, like, I don't think they ever have meetings or like pre-plan anything. It just seems to be like, hey, I've got an idea, let's roll with that, and then they do it, and then the whole community the backlash comes in, and then they don't know what to do afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, Twitch has one thing that very few other places like YouTube, Facebook Gaming has, and that's exclusivity. So if you sign into an affiliacy deal with Twitch, you can, I think it's within 24 hours, you cannot live stream or use any of that VOD footage or anything for any other place at all but Twitch. So you have that 24-hour grace period where you cannot do a damn thing with any of that content that you've just done. So whereas Facebook Gaming and YouTube, they allow that you can do it all on both. They literally don't care. They're like, nah, it's fine, because restreaming, getting your name out there, makes sense. Streaming to 5 platforms instead of 1 platform is theoretically going to get you 5 times the amount of exposure, so it makes sense. So a lot of other companies won't bother with, worrying, locking people into exclusive deals and things, because in the long term, it's not going to really help. All Twitch does there, as far as for us as building brands on our personal channels and things, Twitch takes that. Twitch owns that. There's nothing we can do about that. If you've already signed that affiliates agreement, they can basically do what they want. Like they can use your likeness, your name, your brand, everything. So, and talking about the percentages thing, I had a little look yesterday on some Twitch metrics sites that are well known. There's one that Devin Nash himself uses as well. And I have, at the moment, I think about 260 followers on Twitch. According to the Twitch metrics sites, I am somehow still in the top 3% of Twitch. So that tells you what sort of a gap there is. Because if I, at 260 followers, who gets maybe between 5 and 10 viewers per stream, if I'm in the top 3%, what does that say about the people above and below? Because I'm nothing special. I say I've got less than 300 followers. I'm not making money off of Twitch. I'm not. This is not a full-time job, but in any way, shape, or form. And yet I'm still somehow the top 3%. So
don't get me wrong. I think Twitch is amazing. Like overall, I would say. I think obviously we're all speaking on Twitch now, and it's great. It gives people genuine opportunities. But I think because they don't really yet have a genuine rival, I think they just became a bit sort of lackluster and kind of a bit too comfortable, because they could effectively do whatever they wanted and people would still stream on Twitch. I think they need a strong rival to hopefully push them in the right direction. Yeah, hopefully.
Well, I think they kind of had the monopoly on the industry for a while, didn't they? They were
still do, really.
Yeah, they literally were at one point the only show in town. There was no live streaming on Facebook. There was no live streaming on YouTube. There was no DLive, no Mixer, no, there was none of these. Trovo, none of these companies existed years ago. So during the height of Twitch's popularity, when it really exploded a few years back, it was unrivaled. There was no one else anywhere near. Whereas now we're seeing a lot of these Facebook Gaming, YouTube, DLive, these are all sort of coming up a bit and starting to grow in their own ways. So I think Twitch are going to have to really pull their fingers out, so to speak, in the next year or two, because otherwise I think they're just going to get in more and more shit, and it's going to end up with everyone just leaving Twitch. And at that point, Amazon's a $1 billion company. They're making losses on Twitch. They're not going to, every year they look at their financials. They're not going to want to keep going for much longer if Twitch aren't physically making Amazon money.
Well, I think going back to the original point of it, I think buying trailers and sending them to the few streamers that they did wasn't a good promotion.
No,
I think they just angered more of they just angered everybody who he's been working hard and everything else, and then struggling with all this DMCA stuff. looking for a solution, and they go and drop trailers on people's houses.
The thing is, if they sent it to random smaller streamers, people that, because a lot of the people that got things sent to them, like Pokemon, I assume have a lot of money. Whereas if these things went to a lot smaller streamers, I think that would come across still probably a bad financial decision, but on the other hand, it would come across as nice. Whereas it just stinks of sending in expensive things to people that have a lot of money.
Yeah, fully agree. I mean, the setups that they've sent, to be honest with you, you look at some of those trailers and then you see some of the stream rooms that these people have. Them trailers weren't even as good as their own personal stream room. Whereas if you turned up at somebody's house, or a streamer who's, not as popular, hasn't got all the singing, all dancing equipment and everything else, and you gave that could have been a brilliant publicity stunt. Like you say, it shows a bit of thought for the community and everything else. This just seems like a publicity stunt to show off a few big streamer names.
I'm more interested in the stock bar, fridges, and snacks than the setup, to be fair. But that's just me being a fat sod. So
stocked fridge and everything.
I'm down for that.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Now, I actually I brought this one up on Twitter this week. Don't need to spend too long on it. So this is the negative stuff. We don't like the negative stuff, but yeah, there's something to watch out for now. It seems that the old scammers are targeting Twitch streamers, using various email cons to try and get you to give out personal information. I did not click on the link, so I don't know exactly what happens after you get this email. I ain't going to find out because I'm never clicking it. But yeah, it seems now they're coming after Twitch streamers to get your money. So you got to be careful what you're doing with your emails, boys.
It's so easy sometimes as well, isn't it, to spot. I had one the other day I can't remember what it said it was from. I think it said it was from a bank or something, saying that I needed to update some details or something. And it was a really well put together email. It looked proper professional. But the trick I've found over the years is look at the sender. Look at the email address of the sender. If you're getting an email from someone and it's claiming to be a big company like Twitch or your bank or whatever else, and the email address that it's come to you from is like dave123lovestits@gmail.com, I think as a safe assumption it's not accurate.
Yeah.
I think I saw on QI years ago that the most effective email scams are the ones that are full of errors because they target people that may not be experienced in spotting scams. So obviously if, stereotypically an older person, if they got a really bad email from a pretend bank, I think they may well fall for that. Whereas I think a lot of people that have grown up with the internet, I suppose, are less likely to fall for these scams. So sometimes they're intentionally full of spelling mistakes and full of really bad logos and dodgy email addresses because it's intended to try and lure people in that may not have that experience of spotting the scams. It's weird, but
scammers are always pretty. They seem pretty clever, but this was a surprise one to get though. I think. If you live in the UK especially, I don't know about other countries, but in the UK, pretty much the only time my landline goes in my house is a scam call.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And those scams you can, you could understand the ones they do, they could work on a lot of people. This is a very specific thing, going after Twitch streamers income and personal details. I'm wondering if somebody's got a grudge with Twitch there or something. I don't know.
The thing is that it seems like the way they've worded it as well, it's saying that you can get paid out in your local currency. I don't know about you. I haven't had many donations, but the ones I have had have gone into my PayPal, and when I look in my PayPal, it shows up in British currency. And when it pops up on my alerts on Streamlabs, it says in pounds. So that's not something I even worry about because I've got it set up automatically to do that. So
I know.
it's such a simple thing.
My Twitch payouts, not donations, but my actual Twitch payouts, they come in dollars usually. So this is why this could work. This scam could work because I think they're sort of saying that you could get paid. I think it's the idea of not paying a conversion fee, like it says there. I mean, it's a weird scam because the amount that they're sort of implying that you'd lose isn't even that much. Like usually, like some scams are like, oh, if you don't do this, then you're gonna lose out on something that's so massive to try and force you into doing it. But it's not even that big of a deal. But still, it's one to watch out for. Anyway, scammers are going after you. Right, let's swerve on from that one. Now this one's more related to DayZ, but it's again, it's what I would say is a negative one. I'm sad about it. ArchieStormcloud announcing that he's going to be taking an extended break from streaming on Twitch. He's going to be focusing more on YouTube content. And at the end there, he's put thanks for a wild 3 years. So he's been streaming on Twitch for 3 years now. I don't know. I haven't got any information on. I haven't been able to speak to him or anything as to why he's done this. I don't know if anybody in here knows, or if
I haven't spoken to him.
Chat even.
I haven't spoken to him about it yet, but considering everything that's going on with Twitch that we've spoken about already today, I'm not surprised. And when you consider a lot of the shit that he's had to go through as well on Twitch over the last few years, with people constantly, harassing him, and I mean, granted, to a degree, he's only got himself to blame in a very small part because he has made mistakes himself that have invited negativity in a small sense. But he's constantly had to. I'm sure he's had to deal with people. If I'm not mistaken, last time I spoke to him, he said he's had people have been doxing him before. Now people have been sending, viewers from other streams over to his streams, and they've been harassing him and sending malicious emails and all sorts, and people have had him been getting him 7-day bans or 2-week bans on Twitch, reporting his channel for things. And as we know, Twitch isn't the greatest when it comes to actually acting correctly on reports of anything. So I kind of can't blame him, really. I mean, like you say, it's sad to see him. I mean, he's not going forever. Like you say, he's saying he's taking an extended break, which sort of alludes that he could come back eventually. But yeah, I can't say I blame him, to be fair. And if I were him, I would just move over to YouTube and do everything YouTube related now, because it's going to be far less of a ball ache for him.
I don't think it's too negative though. I think if he's doing something that'll make him happier, that's something to be kind of thankful for, I suppose. And hopefully he's putting himself in a better place by doing it. So he's a great character, and good luck to him.
Yeah, I mean, whether he's streaming or it's one of his videos, he makes me laugh, and I enjoy the content. If he's not enjoying it on Twitch, I hope he does take the break then, if he's not enjoying it, and it makes him more happy to do his YouTube videos and everything, because if he's enjoying doing his content more, it's gonna improve it. So yeah, sad to see him go. Hopefully the return is, he makes a return sometime.
Triumphant return. I'm sure he'll still be around in people's chats, and just being a general member of the community and member of the public and a viewer, rather than a streamer himself. So all the best and all the love to him.
Yeah. If you're watching, Archie, good luck, mate. Okay. We will move on to the slightly more positive now, more DayZ focus. First one being obviously the big news of the week, and we've already touched on it just a few times, but the wait has come to an end. DayZ update 1.10 is released. Which we have had a little discussion on it, but I'll just pop the patch notes up.
I'm undecided on my opinion of it at this point. It seems to work very nicely on the majority of modded servers, and as always, it runs relatively well on vanilla, because there's obviously not all the mods to sort of break things, so to speak, to a degree. But I'm not sold on the insulation side of things and the cold side of things, because I played on vanilla a couple of days ago. In fact, it was the day it came out, which is the first time I've played patch day for a while. So I usually avoid it and wait until things have calmed down a bit, and a few, and at least one hotfix has come out. And I just was constantly, every item of clothing I had was high insulation, and either pristine or worn, and yet still getting cold. It was sapping my food. Within the space of an hour in Electro, I ate an entire sheep and about 6 or 7 chickens. Like literally everything, everything that you could possibly eat off of any of those animals, I had the lot within an hour, because the cold was just sapping my energy reserves constantly. Came very, very close. Luckily, I don't know whether the chicken spawns on vanilla have been upped, but I found shit tons. I must have killed about 10 chickens within the space of an hour and a half, and if I hadn't, I'd have been long gone. I'd have been dead, because the cold was just absolutely destroying me. But then on modded yesterday, off stream didn't have that problem, so it's not too bad. I'm a little bit unsure of it, but I jumped into Sergeant Raging Snake, a few of you all know of. Jumped into his stream the other night, and he put forward an idea, and I'll pose this question to Windstride, because you'll probably know more about this than me. But he posed the idea of having stackable clothing. So, for example, at the moment, if you spawn in a t-shirt, for example, if you see a jacket that's better, you swap it out. But he posed the idea of possibly having it so that you can have both, have a t-shirt and a jacket, and then have it say one of those inventories then doesn't work anymore to kind of balance it out. But you still get, you can put, say, a low insulation t-shirt and a low insulation jacket, and that will make medium insulation in total, but only give you the inventory space of one of those items to kind of balance it out a bit. I don't know if that's something that's even possible, but it's an idea I quite like.
Technically, it would be possible, but if something like that doesn't have the visual quality as well, I mean, if you do that, you probably won't be able to visually have all those shirts overlaid properly. That's just not possible, unless they had a system for that officially implemented. But as modding, as far as I know, you could create new slots. You could create, I don't know, 10 jacket slots, and overlay them, and make it so only one of them is displayed. I don't know, probably the bulkiest one or something. But I don't know. I don't know if I like the idea of not having it to display. I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah,
there's a guy working on that actually.
Yeah, I think having them both displayed would be a mistake if that was to become a thing, because I mean we've already got quite a modeled UI in some extents when it comes to obviously your clothing slots when you're changing what clothing items you've got on, for example. You'd have to basically, theoretically, you'd have to double that up, so you'd have 2 t-shirt slots and 2 pant slots and things like that, which wouldn't be quite as good. But I mean, I say I was just constantly cold, constantly losing energy on vanilla the other day. So and like I say, since I've been on modded and didn't have the same issue, and still started fresh with the same type of clothing. So I don't know what the deal is, but so far it seems like a very good patch. The sounds that the game makes when you break your leg is horrifying. Like I've never been bothered by broken bones. Like in real life, I don't care. You could stand next to me and break your arm, and I'd laugh. But for some reason, in game, that cracking sound came, and I was like, no, that was horrid.
On experimental, I never play experimental, because I like the surprise of when the update drops. I don't like getting my Christmas presents early. But when I knew Broken Bones was back, I had to jump on experimental and just immediately throw myself off something. It was quite a surprise in my headset, the sound. But I'm touching wood here as well. Make sure, right? As yet, in stable, I haven't broken my legs. I was saying this on stream before. I'm probably going to have jinxed it now, or somebody's going to break my legs for me tonight, probably.
I know what I'm doing after this.
But yeah, as yet, I have been fortunate enough that I haven't done my usual and ran off a cliff or anything, and I haven't broken my legs yet. But yeah, that's going to be something to deal with, and be interesting to see the feedback from the community all from it, because obviously there's a good percentage of the DayZ player base now who've probably never experienced broken legs before.
Yeah.
So that is going to be interesting to see what they think of it all.
The thing that servers disabling it already as well, isn't there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, I have seen a mod that I think appeared on Steam yesterday that's was a no broken leg mod.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't take long, did it?
It was inevitable though, wasn't it? Let's be honest. I think that's the great thing about the modded community, is that there is a server out there for everyone. So it's just catering for that side of the player base. So whilst I may not like that idea, I kind of like the broken bones thing. I can kind of understand why, but I'm going to be very interested to see whether there's a shift in the meta with DayZ in the next couple of months, because they've brought out the 3 big changes with the broken limbs, the temperature and the clothing insulation, and the perishable food. They've brought them all in one patch very quickly. They kind of lumped it all on us very quickly. And I think it's really gonna slow the gameplay down, and I think it's gonna change the way we interact with other players. And I wonder which way it's gonna go, because in my opinion, I think it's either gonna go people are more friendly and they're like, right, let's work together to get warm, to get food, to survive, or is it gonna be no, I need that food because I'm hungry and I need your jacket because it's better than mine and I'm cold. I'm now gonna shoot you in the face. I don't know which way that's going to go.
I think it'll go towards the latter, in my opinion. I think,
yeah,
because obviously food can be so difficult as it is at the moment, isn't it? I think people are going to share a piece of meat if they're starving. But then on the other hand, I've been watching quite a lot of the Running Mans, and as always, he has quite interesting adventures, and a lot of them have stemmed from meeting someone that's starving and he had food, or the other way around. So I think it has the potential to kind of through really interesting interactions. That may be because of his well known and people were potentially watching his stream, but I think for anyone else, I think it's still got that potential to spread that sort of community message. Hopefully, I think could be positive.
I think it's the changes are going to have a huge change on meta. I think personally, because I run a PvP focused server. And already on my server, you can see the difference it's making. Like we have reasons why we have oil rigs out in the sea, so people swim to them. Normally, chances of getting ill is maybe, but now there's a good chance you're going to get ill, or when you come out of the water, you're cold and everything. And that's having an effect on food and water. So now people are now having to constantly, even though it's a PvP and they normally wouldn't have to worry about this, they're now thinking, crikey, I've got to stay dry, I've got to stay warm, I've got to watch my food now, whereas normally it's not much of a worry on our server. So even that's just on my server or PvP server, it's changing things up already.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to have a major effect on the community, and the way they play DayZ.
I think it's going to have a bigger effect on vanilla, on official servers, than it will on community servers, because I mean, I don't know about you guys. Anytime I've ever played official servers, with the exception of the other night where I jumped on my buddy Hellfire for an hour, I tend to run solo on official servers, you know. So I don't run into people that are like, oh yeah, we've got a group on this server, you know, we've got a base. Would you like to come and see? And I don't get that on official servers. Whereas if I jump onto a modded community server, I get that a lot more. So I think on official modded community servers, I think it's going to be a bit different. I think there's going to be a difference between the two. I think it's going to be a little bit more. It's going to be a little bit more hardcore and a bit more me versus you on the officials. But I think the communities, there's already a community there usually, so I think it's a little bit more likely to be a bit more friendly and a bit more sharing food and working together.
I've never actually played official servers.
You're not missing much.
I can't bring myself to play official.
But it was all DayZ Village. I played that for like 3 years. Only that until Modern came out.
Yes, that's the last vanilla I played.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I don't mind the community servers that are like hardcore and everything else. It's not that the thing that I don't like the most about vanilla is the loot economy, how it works on there.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I don't really enjoy vanilla. All the aspects of it, I like the survival and everything else. I enjoy all that, but I just don't think the loot economy is right for populated servers, especially. Like if you have a full pop official server, life's hard on there, a bit too hard, I think. But that's just my opinion anyway. But
yeah, I mean, I don't understand how the central loot economy works, so for me, I kind of go into it blind every time anyway. But I purposely on patch day jumped onto what was a high pop server, and I purposely jumped on it because it was high pop, and I thought that's going to be my best bet of actually, you know, the loot economy being sort of a bit different and actually bumping into players and having interactions. So I was quite lucky. I was, you know, but I mean, like I say, an hour and a half, 2 hours it was in Electro, just constantly killing chickens, and, you know, didn't find a heat pack at all. I searched the whole of Electro, every single building, no heat packs. So, you know, I think things like heat packs are going to become almost a crutch on official servers, because I think they're having it like night time's a bit colder now as well. So it's not even just the altitude changes. Like on the coast, you're going to be, you know, in some areas you're going to be warmer than others, and if you go to Tissy, it's going to be colder up there because the altitude's higher, which makes sense. But then you add in like the nighttime and the early morning temperature change and the wind chill. You know, I think they're going to have to do a few tweaks to kind of balance it out a bit. But so far, it's a very, very interesting patch.
I think it's just a matter of really balancing it. They usually make mistakes in that matter, but hopefully they'll get there, because it seems to be really complex right now. There's not even only the time and night temperatures. There's, if you're inside, temperature's higher, and I might be mistaken, but I think I've read that time of the year changes that as well.
Yeah, it affects the weather.
Yeah. Time of the year, altitude, all of that. It's pretty crazy. But if they balance it right, I'm sure it will be really good. It'll feel much better.
The whole indoor thing's strange as well, because cooking food on a big fireplace in a house, when you've got, you know, high insulation clothing, your temperature bar, your thermostat just goes up to red straight away. And because of that heat buffer thing that they've got now, which I think we're going to come on to you know, later on in the podcast as well, you know, the amount of time it takes for you to warm up and then cool down is crazy. Like, I was trying to cook a couple of bits of steak, and my character's heat was just constantly on red, was losing health, and I would, you know, rather than keep an eye on my food and make sure it wasn't burning, I had to take my t-shirt and my trousers off and run outside, you know, and look through the window to see if I could see if the meat changed colour, because I was worried that I was going to sit there, lose health, and, you know, because I was too hot.
Because this
Yeah, that's
moves us nicely into the next subject actually, which is the heat buffer. So I've just popped that up on the screen. Can somebody explain this to me then? So I'm not fully up to date on this. What's this 3-minute heat buffer? What is it? Does this mean you've got 3 minutes before cold or hot places affect you?
Cold affects you.
Cold,
You can
yes.
Right.
swim in the sea for 3 minutes and it will stay the same. It's like a little plus symbol next to your temperature, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll notice the little thermostat symbol on your HUD will show like a plus sign next to it at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be for warmth, but I do notice that you do tend to stay a lot warmer for a lot longer, which is probably a good thing. But I think it's going to be I'd say if you're at red heat and losing health and all you're doing is cooking 2 bits of chicken breast, I think that might be a little bit much, because they've added a thing where the heat is different in a house to out of a house, so that you've got like, I can't remember what they call it. There's a specific name for it, I think, that were in the patch notes, where you have like a heat shield of some description. So it's this localized heat or something like that. So you'll be, which makes sense, you'll be warmer in your house than you would be stood outside in the cold. So that, along with the buffer and the and the temperature and the insulation of the clothing, is gonna, I think it's gonna need a bit of a tweaking in the next couple of weeks to bring it to what it should be in theory.
Well, we've talked about we've gone through heat, and now we've gone into the cold, so that brings us nicely on again to the next subject, which is a pretty good one. We're obviously, some of us have already chatted about this on previous casts, but it's getting closer. Tweet there from when it comes up from Sumrak, 18 days to go till the mouse releases, and that was on November the 15th. So that's we're a lot closer now than we was when we posted this. And
the thing that made me giggle about that was the fact that it had to be Chris FPS that commented saying, "Can people fall through the hole?" of everyone I know, it was going to be Chris that's going to be trying to dunk people in that.
Yeah, well, this interests me. This sort of, I noticed here that the little ice hole is raised up. I think this was broached earlier on about you can't cut a hole in the map terrain. So I guess this little pool of water is floating just above the surface. I guess that's how it's done. But anyway, ice fishing though, I wasn't realised that was in.
That's cool, to be fair, and it looks like you dig it with a pickaxe as well, by the looks of just going by that picture. So I love the way that the picture he's put as well is of full hunter gear. So that shows you that's probably going to be the best clothing for Namalsk, and he's actually using an improvised rod instead of a proper fishing rod.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's I see the cold breath coming out of his mouth there. He's obviously very chilly. Oh, she is, sorry. Yeah, so I'll try. I mean, I'm opening a Namalsk server. What about you, mate? Are you getting on that, Brim?
I won't be. I don't do servers. I've got no fucking clue what I'm doing. Like the server I help admin on, someone else does all the work. I just do the community management side of things. I'm the fatter and uglier Jakub of of our server. So I don't do the modding side. I wouldn't know where to start, but I would like to see us do a Namalsk. I know Foxy's got a Namalsk server he's going to be looking at opening up. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Helkiana's doing a Willow Glade Namalsk. So I think the community is going to be flooded with Namalsk servers in the next couple of months, and it's going to be very difficult to kind of figure out and find out what the good ones are, what the best ones are. But I think there's a good chance of there being a lot of really good servers.
Oh yeah. I think a lot of the communities that are already lean towards the more survival side and everything, their servers will be absolutely rammed.
Yeah.
Myself, I'll probably destroy Adam's vision of Namalsk when I make a PvP server with it, and I end up making it 24-hour daylight, nice and warm, and all that stuff.
I think weren't you talking a little while back as well about the idea of possibly doing a different style of server in comparison to the current BWAF server? Because obviously, like you say, the current BWAF server is very PvP and base raid focused and things like that. But I remember you saying you were looking at the possibility of doing a more sort of survival-esque, not necessarily RP, but more survival and team up kind of based.
Yeah, I was originally thinking about doing it with Chernarus, but then with Namal's coming on the way, I'm 50-50 what I'm doing. I haven't really made my mind up yet. Obviously, my community will want a play on Namal, so I'll provide whatever they want to play on.
Yeah.
But there is a part of me that wants to play Namal's completely as it should be and enjoy the survival side of things, because I do obviously play a lot of PvP over survival, so I miss it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Mouse a lot, and I will definitely be thinking about setting up a harder server for it. About you, Windstride, you be on the Mouse when it releases?
I'll definitely be. I'm not sure on what server yet, but I think there's lots of abilities, and it's a map that is designed 20-30 players, so even more servers probably, because it will be pretty easy to fill them up in the beginning at least. I don't know. I'll be looking for a really survivalistic server. We'll see about that. Will Adam be opening his own servers?
I think I saw something somewhere, and I can't remember where it was. I don't think it was one of his streams or not, but I think someone recently asked him that question, and he said he was considering it, but hadn't fully decided. Obviously, don't take my word for it, because I'm maybe misremembering a conversation elsewhere. But I think it's something he's considering the idea of doing. But whether he actually goes through with it or not, I mean, if he does go through with it, I think it'll be an extremely popular server. Like, you think the lead developer of DayZ and the guy who created the map opening a server with that map, that'll be a very, very popular server very quickly.
Yeah, I should imagine it would be.
I know one thing is not letting anybody monetize it, so that people can't pay for priority queue and all that stuff. So hopefully that will see other servers, instead of loads of people just queuing to try and get in 50 people queues or whatever, they try other servers as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole monetization thing, that's actually a subject that a few people have been talking about. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that works, because there's a lot of servers, mine included, that where people have got their own customized gear, and I don't know whether I'm allowed to transfer that gear over so that they can continue to use it on an ML server, which I'm sure they're going to ask for.
Yeah.
So that's something I need to speak to Adam about. But yeah,
I've seen a lot more mods on the Steam Workshop at the moment have that little disclaimer at the bottom of their description saying, obviously everyone says you cannot repackage this mod, ask for permission, do whatever else. But I've seen a lot more have the you do not use this, or you cannot use this on a monetized server. I've noticed that quite a bit recently in comparison to previous. So
yeah, I mean, like I've a bit of experience in it. Like, obviously, it's a bit naughty to retexture somebody else. Like, excuse me, it's a bit naughty to take somebody else's stuff and just repack it and monetize. Start making custom variations of it for people on the server and making money off it, and the modder who's actually created it not getting any kickback from it at all. But I can understand why some modders put that in.
Yeah.
The no monetization thing. So yeah, the mouse anyway.
It's going to be very interesting. I know, like I say, I know Foxy's got a mouse server on the way, and I've seen you've done a bit of done your trailer video, didn't you? And you did. I noticed you've been putting out sort of pictures of custom gear and things, like spray painting things white specifically for Namalsk as well.
Working on a lot of stuff. we just had a Mass join the team as well for the server, so we
Nice.
got a lot of good ideas from him coming, which I'm excited to see. We're thinking like he put one idea to us straight away, is like having zombies in modded clothes as well. So let's say you can see one in Windstride's Parker jacket or something like that. Like it would just add a different feel rather than the same things. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff he's brought to the table. We're not implementing all of it because we're not having bases. Some of it was to do with base building and stuff like that. I put a poll out to the community in our Discord. I think it's like directly split 50-50. Some want bases, some don't. So I'm thinking, do I just make 2 servers, one with bases, one without? But I think I'm just going to launch with the one how I wanted it to be first off, then see where it goes from there. No bases, no admin tools. That's it.
I think Windstride will get a few requests for items once the mouse comes out.
Yes, at least for a color variant. I'm expecting that.
Everybody's going to want white stuff.
And everyone's going to want those new snow boots as well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's going to become an extremely popular item very, very quickly, I think.
Yeah, the reason I made a white variant for the parka is the mouse. I might bring other stuff white as
Oh, everybody's going to want everything from ghillies to backpacks, the whole lot, everything. I'm quite fortunate in that I had a Winter Chernara server a long time ago, so I've already got a load of white textured stuff ready for the mouse.
Yeah.
Which I can just throw straight on. But yeah, I think there'll be a lot of requests for different items, definitely. For you, mate.
It looks so good, doesn't it? Winter stuff just looks amazing. I didn't realise until recently when I jumped onto Happy Bomb's Zero Winter Chernarus map, just prior to 110 coming out. I forgot how nice it looks, and like the sound of the snow crunching under your feet and finding all that white gear and basically making yourself invisible. I forgot how much I really do enjoy that.
That's one thing I didn't want to be too easy, everyone getting the white camo and stuff like that. So that's why I made like a white spray can. And I've implemented that so you can spray certain things white rather than picking up everything that's already white. I know some racks added, you can see in that picture Ben's got up there actually, different camos and stuff in already. But
yeah, that looks really cool. I like that gear there.
it's like even with that, the Tulune, I could make you have to spray paint that to get a white version and stuff like that. I just want it to be not everyone's running around in white gear. You've got to search for the spray paint where you get it and make it a bit more of a challenge.
Make that the end game gear, the special stuff. Yeah.
I'd say that with not having bases, I feel it's something to work towards. Like I've never played the mouse. I just feel like it's a small map, and bases might take a lot away from the actual map. I don't know. Like I say, until I play.
No, I agree. It's way smaller, yeah. So like already just thinking in terms of like my current server setup would not work on the mouse. Because none of the rules would apply. Like if I applied some of the rules, there'd be no building space left. So I don't even know myself how I'm going to do that yet. Regarding building on there,
We don't know anything about the other side of his Namalsk mod, do we? Because we know that he's doing a double thing, so he's doing the map separately to the survival aspects. And this tweet you've got up there about Frostbite being asleep in danger, I wonder if that's some kind of sort of sneaky dig there as like a little clue as to what we could expect in the future. But like you say, talking about bases I think are going to be very, very powerful in 110 and on, because like I say, with the changes to the heat, if you're in a house and you just light a fire and it warms that whole house up, if you build a base inside an existing building, you just stick a gate on the front of a door of an existing vanilla building and light a fireplace in there. There's with the exception of actually going out and getting food, there's no reason for you to leave your base at that point, because you're not going to freeze. If you've got enough food, you're not going to starve. So I wonder if there are some servers where this new update is going to end up bringing about more people that just sit and camp in their bases rather than actually going out and exploring.
It doesn't even need this
Yeah.
update to do that. People do that anyway, and that's
Yeah.
one.
But I wonder if it's going to get worse now because people are going to have that added thing of, well, why do I want to go out and risk, dying of freezing to death somewhere in the middle of nowhere when I've got, 20 cow steaks here that are dried, a couple of cans of food, and a water well just down the road. Why am I going anywhere when I'm perfectly content at home?
Yeah, that's true. If I remember correctly,
sorry.
Adam said he added a lot more sea ice around the map, the current island. So maybe base building servers, you can use the sea ice around to build rather than in current houses.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Then that may make it a bit more, because I don't know, if you got 30, 40 people on your server each day, somebody comes in, builds a base in one house, somebody comes in, you've got 100 houses all blocked off. It's limiting where loot's going to spawn, who can get to that, and it's only a small map, so it would be interesting to see what servers do with base building and how they're going to balance that.
Yeah.
Yes. Go on, mate.
Yes, I think a lot of inspiration for Adam is probably the game The Long Dark, and the survival aspect of Namask, and maybe the proper Namask experience will be no basis because of that. Because as you mentioned, the map will be small, and when people start blocking out houses that would potentially save your life with loot inside, I can see that becoming a big problem. So maybe if you're running a server of Namask, maybe either making base building very difficult or not having it at all would be the best Namask experience, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's like I'm leaving the small civilian tents, barrels in, and then new shelters. That's it. I'm taking out the big tents, car tent, military, just having the small ones in, barrels, and the little shelters.
I think it'll all depend on the community's, your own community's playstyle. Really, like Oaks put there on PvE, it will be ass without a base. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is that side of it. So yeah, I mean, it'll be like everything. It's all going to be about balance, isn't it? Like we'll all get a feel for it when we get our servers up and feel out what works and what don't for our communities. But yeah, base building would be either very powerful or essential, or very bad, depending on how your server, works.
I do wonder, you were saying about the houses and like when you're inside them, it creates this heat wall and you're warm inside. I wonder if it's the same with base building, because vanilla, you got no roofs. So in expansion and base building plus and so on, do you get that same buffer inside them, or is it just going to be like being outside?
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe with the expansion building as well, because they've got the windows, you can build the walls with the 2 windows, can't you, that open? Yeah. I wonder if that'll actually make a difference if you open a window, whether you'll get a wind chill, a breeze come through the windows and change that as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to getting my server up and feeling it out anyway. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Of that. Now, this was a nice piece of news that I've been looking forward to. Past guest, Inclement Dab, now known as Jinglement Dab, released a 30-second tutorial on how to use the new map removal tool, which is a pretty big thing for anybody who's into DayZ mapping or customizing their own server and everything. What was thought to be never possible, he has achieved. And I'm going to play the video. I'm praying he's not copyrighted anything in it. Why is it not playing? Okay, there's no sound. There's no sound for it. But here you can see selecting some buildings in VMC, I think it is. And then yeet. They're gone.
And so if you use that, you can do that on your live server. You can literally remove buildings on your server.
You can't do this to a live server at the moment, but you can obviously you could do this on offline and then transfer the changes to a live server. That's as far as I know how it works.
Right, so it's like copy and pasting the file info, and then so I could in theory go into a server at some point, go to VMC and find that VMC is completely naked because it's actually been changed.
Yeah,
That's-
Yeah, you couldn't remove anything of the initial map. But I was discussing that yesterday with my friends actually, and I'm not sure. Do you know if it actually deletes the structure and everything involved in it, or
Well-
it pulls it below the map?
But yeah, that used to be the method that that people were using, was to bury the item under the map rather than deleting it. I believe, because I asked him about this on, he dropped into my stream recently, and I did ask him, and I believe it completely deletes it. It's not stashing it under the ground.
That's really cool if it's the case.
Yes. I don't know how it's done. That was the only method I used to know of, was the burying it under the map terrain. But he says to me that it's complete deletion. So it's pretty crazy. And then combined with, I don't know if you're familiar with the tool, but he has called the clutter cutter. So like all the grass you can see there and that might be in the way of you now placing a building there, you can remove all that as well. So
That's pretty cool.
You basically take the terrain almost back to completely, flat and then add in custom stuff as you want.
How Keanu just said in your chat there, Ben.
Let's have a look. Is that every patch you'll have to go and re-delete the items? Okay. But I mean, it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for customizing locations that were previously quite hard to do. I know me personally, I've got a rather large building at the moment that I'm looking to put into some major towns, and without this deletion tool, I don't think it'd ever work. So yeah, it's pretty crazy what he's come up with.
I mean, up until now, the only map editing I've ever done was using Daone's VPP admin tools, because it's so easy to literally go in and just place custom buildings around and therefore, customize an area. I love doing that, but this is on a whole nother level that I think is a bit beyond me.
Yeah, I mean, when I've been doing editing up to now, I generally, I'm just lobbing in buildings or whatever I can where to me they look like they're appropriate. So like I've actually done an edit of VMC, and in that open space I've added more buildings and stuff. But it's always like, there's always a time where I'm like, oh, if you could only move that out the way, or you only get rid of that bit of grass, it would look 10 times better than it sticking through the floor. Or so yeah, it's going to be very cool to see see the results, and I'm looking forward to playing with it personally.
Does it go as far as removing clumps of grass, particular clumps of grass?
Yeah, he's got a thing called a clutter cutter, which you can basically just wipe over the landscape and it removes the grass. So it doesn't, so you don't get that clipping through the floor issue that you have a lot of times when placing buildings and stuff. But yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's going to be quite interesting for new maps coming out as well. People creating modded maps, because you're going to have a lot of people that will create that basic idea of what they want their modded map to be, and then they can use Dab's tool to go over and just polish edges, move buildings around that way with that as well, and kind of use Inclement Dab's editor mod plus that map owner's own knowledge of their own tools, and kind of merge the two. And we could see in the next couple of years some really, really interesting, really good looking maps come through again.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what people do on the mouse with the tool as well.
Yeah.
I think
a bit out of the subject, but have you checked ESECR map?
ESECR, yeah, I've checked it out.
Yes.
We were supposed to have one of the team on as a guest, but unfortunately they couldn't make it. That was recently. But I've checked out ESECR before, and obviously I played it in Armour. That's an amazing map as well. I believe he's using. I think this tool, Inclement's tool, helps Essica out with the creation, makes
Cool.
their life a bit easier, as opposed to the other ways of doing things. But yeah, and this was only one feature. I'm pretty sure he added a hell of a lot of features to the new DayZ editor tool in the most recent update. But yeah, that was the big one. So
He's come a long
where
way
are
in
we?
such a short space of time, hasn't he?
He has. He just keeps achieving things. Very eye opening his jinglement. As I it just sort of seems to have come out of nowhere and done amazing things in such a short space of time.
I'm always in awe of people like him and people like Windstride and Mass that do all these custom modded things. I would love to sort of even be able to do half of the things like that, but I've looked into it and my brain cannot physically wrap around even the smallest, simplest things. So I'm glad we've got guys out there like that that can do that for me, because my brain doesn't compute that in the fucking slightest.
Well, modding is certainly taking the game forward in many ways at the moment, and yeah, that tool's obviously going to help create some even more interesting map edits than we get now. So look forward to seeing where that goes. Okay, the next one. This we won't be able to talk too much about this one because unfortunately I haven't been able to get much details. I was trying to get hold of the person, but I did see this, and Boydie pointed this one out. But as you can see here, somebody's making a DayZ short film, and you can tell that they're definitely exploring some of the Chernarus landscape there. In fact, looking at a couple of those pictures, especially that red barn and this place here, was it Matt Lightwood showed us some pictures of when he went and originally looked at these places before the game was made, didn't he? So
he did, and I remember, if I remember rightly, I've got it somewhere saved on my Chrome. I think I'll see if I can find it and link it. But didn't Batty put out a set of images as well, didn't she, back along, where she had gone and put like the picture in game and then actually gone to the location where that it was based on and taken pictures in real life as well. So yeah, but I wonder whether is this the same people that did that that live trailer thing that we saw on the podcast about a month ago, or is this separate to that? Is this another group of people doing something? Because if it's more than one, you know, if it's two different groups of people doing it, that's brilliant. You know, the more the merrier.
Yeah, more content. I honestly don't know. Unfortunately, I tried to get hold of the person that made this post, Banny Blacks, to get some more info on it. But it looks exciting. I mean, like you say, that the real life trailer that was done, that was awesome. And DayZ is something you could really make a film out of, like. So it'd be interesting to see what they come up with it. I'm going to try and get some more information, or maybe Boydie will, over the next sort of week or two. But I'll some screens from our planned short film. We've been shooting for a few weekends, so they've obviously been doing a bit, and we hope to have it done by Christmas.
That's a pretty early. That's a pretty quick time frame, isn't it? Considering what are we on? 21st of November now. He wants that out in the next month. They must have been working on it for a while.
Yeah. Be a nice Christmas present. I wonder how long I'm genuinely interested in finding out more information on it. Like, I want to know how long it's going to be and everything else.
Hopefully they'll do like a behind the scenes type thing as well.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But I mean, DayZ is the kind of game where you could make so many stories and films out of it, and out of the things that you do in it. So this could be really cool, and the fact that they're doing it. See, obviously, you've seen a lot of people do DayZ like almost like DayZ, where they're in the home country and they spot something that is almost similar to DayZ, and they get cosplayed and everything. They're like really cool pictures. But these are going for the, unless they live there. I don't know. All right, yeah. So we are from the Czech Republic, the country where DayZ was born. So they live there, so that's handy for them. But they're going to the actual places where DayZ was created from. So the level of realism to it is really going to touch home a bit. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I know Tope did that a trip to Chernarus video, didn't he, a few years back? That was quite interesting. I've linked there in your chat and in mine as well. The gallery from Batty as well. And yeah, something like that is something I have wanted for years. Like a live action DayZ would be really, really cool. Hey,
yeah,
Coach.
I'm very interested.
Boydie is off goes. Today.
I'm gonna try and get us some more information.
So Boydie had a tooth pulled the other day. So for yesterday, I think. So he's taken the weekend off, but he'll be back in a couple of days.
Not long to wait. Now then, next one, we've got a tweet from Happy Bombs, who is saying, I've had some good feedback from the DayZ community. Tomorrow we hope to make some changes to our armor mod. A headshot with a 308/762 to a helmet will now kill. Plates and press vests will have their current protection lowered, resulting in uncon greater health loss. So I believe I believe with his mod he's sort of trying to go for more varied states of unconsciousness and things like that. I haven't got much experience with Happy Bomb server or mod. I don't know if any of you guys have.
Not a huge amount, no. But I think he did speak to us about it a little bit, didn't he? When we had him on the podcast about a month ago, and I think his overall idea is he just similar to what Boydie wanted. He just wanted to see. He just wanted to see more uncon states. Wanted it to be less just, you get shot and then that's it, piss off back to the coast and come back in an hour. There's a little bit more, there's a chance of survival, so it makes it a bit more realistic to a degree. But I just love that 5/3 there was confused until realised you meant 762 by 54. So that 308/762, that 762 is referring to the Mosin ammo, not the AK ammo, which makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
If you're getting domed by AKs with his armor mod, you've got problems.
I think
against the squad, yeah, exactly.
So there has been it's been for a little while now. That's a long while, I think. Yeah, that I've noticed you don't very often get into PvP and end up in an unconscious state. It's usually live or die.
Yeah.
I think one of the problems with that, and I think modern not a banana sort of tackled some of this, is that a lot of the ammunition types in DayZ don't have very much variety. They're not very different.
Yeah.
And so like Not a Banana did a mod to rebalance the damages that the different bullets do, so that there is more reason to use different bullets, and so that they add different effects, which I guess may help in getting unconscious states. But yeah, it seems like Happy Bombs is trying to get that back in more, the more of the unconscious states, which is cool. It adds more variety to PvP in situations. You think you've killed somebody and then suddenly they're awake again, things like that.
Yeah,
I do like it.
I mean,
also go on, mate.
I would say presumably it would have something to do with the amount of penetration in the vests as well, because if I'm not mistaken, it's your shock value that determines your unconscious state. So I would assume, and I might be completely wrong, that he's made it so that there's less chance of a bullet penetrating the vest, but it still hits hard enough that it'll do enough shock damage to actually make you go unconscious. Which okay. I think is absolutely brilliant.
Well, I don't know what happened, because in like 0.62, it was really well balanced. You could go unconscious, break your legs on that, then 6-3 happened, then one shot to the head and you're dead 90% of the time. Like, how did, when they updated to like 0.63 and so on, how did it go so far-fetched from what it was?
That's interesting, because on 6.3 launch, they implemented a system, a new health system. I don't know if you remember that, but in the early days of 6.3, you wouldn't die if you get shot in the leg, if you get shot in the arm. It wouldn't affect your health at all. You would just bleed, and by then there was no shock damage, so you would never go uncon. So you could basically fray someone in the leg, and no fracture, no uncon, just one stack of bleeding. I think it was promising. It was something different because the vital hit zones were much more vulnerable this way. If you hit someone in the lung, it would probably be a hit kill with a high caliber, and the same for a headshot. But it didn't work well by then because again we didn't have fractures or unconsciousness. I think it would work well now, but they removed that completely at some point and rolled back to how health system was. I have no idea why. Really interesting.
Hopefully, it's something they work on more in the future because I do feel it's lacking that variation in gunfights. Like it, as long as you can shoot a gun in DayZ, then you can kill somebody. There's no particular skill. Like there's not. Like,
I think over since we've moved into the new engine and everything, PvP has become a lot more stale than it used to be. It's very simple, live or die. PvP is usually not a long drawn out fight like it used to be. It's usually over within seconds. You see somebody, they see you. Whoever gets the best shot off first, boom, that's it. So yeah, it will be good to see more of that come back, especially now that they've got Broken Bones in. Anybody in the past who's experienced Broken Bones has probably been experienced getting shot, knocked out, waking up to find your legs broken and all your stuff gone. So it would be nice to bring it back for many reasons. The unconscious states makes a much better PvP. So hopefully it's something that maybe is going to be worked on again in the future.
Well, it seems to work quite well for, with Happy Bombs and the way he's got his armor set up. Because I know on Thursdays he does a thing called Death Squad mini events on his servers, where he has a group of like 4 or 5 people that are the Death Squad, and then it's everybody else's job on the server to go and gear up. And you don't have to do it on the day. You can spend 4 or 5 days getting geared up and get ready. And then you have to go and basically hunt down the Death Squad. And the idea is you go and, if you can kill them or you can kill other people, you get points. And at the end of the week, those points are added up. And then after a certain length of time, whoever's got the most points for kills and whatever else wins like a hoodie, a branded hoodie for his, his server and things like that. So the armor the way he's got the armor set up works really well for that, because the first couple of times I watched it, he was on the Death Squad. He got shot, but would go down and would go unconscious, but then get up and have that chance to fight back. And then it's a matter of skill and luck then whether you actually manage to get back up and actually pick your weapon back up and defend yourself and can heal in time. And like you say, nowadays there's no drawn out fights. If you're at Northwest Airfield and you get shot now, it's pretty much a case of, right, that's it, I'm done. Fuck it, I'm dead. You just hit respawn as soon as you can. Because there's no, I've been hit in the side, I'm going to go and take cover in this camo building, heal a bit, and then, cover the door. And there's not that tense amount, that 20 minutes where you're sat there trying to negotiate with your attacker and have that, have that role play, have that interaction. There isn't that so much anymore. So I think this really does add that in a bit more.
Not only that, I think after 6.3, the devs always wanted the game to be not realistic, as many mentioned, but to be a unique hardcore survival experience, as they put. But after 6.3, I feel like gunplay has gotten so generic, man. It feels like Call of Duty. How fast you can just ADS and click someone in your screen is nothing compared to what we had in 2. Have you guys heard about a mod called Sood, worked on by a guy named Simon, I believe?
Doesn't ring a bell.
No.
You should check it out. He posted something on Mod in Discord on Showcase a while ago. It looks really promising because it's basically he's working on a set of expansions, but one of them is a gunplay overhaul. It changes how the sway of the gun works, the recoil, how even how the hip fire works. The way it's in the animation in first person doesn't obey the animation in third person if you compare. In his mod it does, and it feels a bit more like what we had in 6.2, where I don't know if you remember that, but there was a delay for you to drag the hip fire, the crosshair across the screen. Depending on the gun you had, there was a delay for the character to follow up and line up the shot. We don't have that now, but hopefully with this mod, it will be much more similar to what we had. Looks really promising.
All right.
I think it's called Suit.
Suit. Okay. I'll have a look on the. You say it was in the modders Discord, did you?
Yes.
In Showcase.
It's on Showcase. Yeah. I'll link it here for you. Take a look
Okay.
later.
Thank you. Okay. So let's move on from that one. Here we got a tweet from Trump's Wall have had a rebrand. They have ditched the Trumps part and they are now called the Wall. I don't. This bit, the part underneath it's put. Oh, okay. So right, I'm sorry, my mistake. So it looks like they're keeping one Trump's Wall DayZ server, but they're rebranding all the other ones to the Wall.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah.
I did have to have a little bit of a laugh when I first heard about that, because I think it was OG Cal who mentioned it to me about a week ago, because we were talking about the whole American election situation and the fact that it looks like Trump's on his way out. You know, I don't want to get too political, but she did say to me, "Oh, what do you reckon that they'll have to change their names?" A bit of foreshadowing. She must have known something. She's like, "Oh, they're going to have to. Surely they're going to have to rename if Trump doesn't get re-elected." She said, "What on earth are they going to end up calling it?" And I said, "I'll just call it like Biden's fence or something like that, you know." But the fact that they've kept it so similar, you know, I think it's pretty good. The graphic looks. The way they've done it, it looks really well. It looks really well done because they've kept the same style, but with their new branding, with the wall part rather than the Trump part. You know, they've kept the same font, same style, so it's pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't know what's prompted it. Like you say, yeah, maybe it's to do with Trump being out of office now. Like, well, going out of office or however it's put. Maybe they just didn't want to be associated with him anymore. I don't know. But good luck to him anyway.
Well, to be fair, some of their servers can be quite fun to play on. They're definitely not hardcore. Like it's just constantly like full pop, run around, madness, shouting, screaming, you know, making fart noises. You got all sorts of stupid shit goes on. But it's the easiest first 15 to 20 minutes of your life on some of their servers, because people are so nitpicky on their servers with where they want their spawns to be, that if you spawn anywhere near sort of Solnichi down to Kami, you walk down there and just, if you walk, most people walk along the beach anyway to check the boats to see if they can get any food. You don't have to worry about the boats. The amount of dead bodies, and because you spawn with like a can of food and a drink on you, you spend 10 minutes running down the road from Solnichny to Kami, and you're going to get full amount. You're going to get all the food and drink to survive that you could ever possibly want off of the people that have just F11'd and ended up somewhere else, and obviously they've just dropped all their gear on the floor.
Yeah, they're not known as survival servers as far as I know, but Trump's Wall's been around, or the Wall now, been around for a long time. I know back when I sort of had the big collection of, I don't know, about 7 servers or something, and I started shutting them down for my year break. They were already started taking off pretty well, Trump's Wall, and then afterwards, when I shut down, they obviously got a lot more players came to him, and over the years, Modern's got quite a decent community going over there now. He's I can't recall how many, but I think he's got about 10k or something in his Discord. I think really popular servers, and I hope good luck to him with the rebrand. I hope for whatever reason they've done it, it goes well for him.
Absolutely.
Right, we're getting on towards the final one here now. Subject, which is Mr. OG has joined the Running Man stream team. Now, I'm not very familiar with the Running Man stream team. I obviously know OG and Running Man very well, but I didn't realize he had his own stream team. The Running Man, correct me if I'm wrong, was he not once part of the Karma crew? Was it? Yeah. Okay. So when did he start his own stream team? Do we know?
It's got to be coming up to about a year now.
Okay, so it's been around for a while then. Okay.
There's a lot of big names in there. Septic Falcon, Jahito.
Sergeant Raging Snake's in there as well that I mentioned earlier. He's a cool guy.
That sounds like a powerhouse stream team then.
It's pretty good.
Are you in it, Foxy? You're in it, aren't you, Foxy?
Yes, I am. I'm streaming Discord. I've got a Discord channel in it, so I can see everyone, but I don't want to click it because it's hold on. I'm trying to find out. There's probably about 30 people in there, maybe more. There's a lot of smaller streamers as well, like myself. But yeah, like I say, Septic's in there. Amish Zed is in there. Happy Bombs. There's a decent chunk of.
Sounds like a powerhouse.
Yeah. What's the name of it again?
The Survivor Z.
Oh yes.
And Mr. OG then. So is this again? I thought he was in the Karma crew. Was he not?
He was. Yeah, he left Karma crew a few weeks back. I'm pretty sure we covered it on the podcast.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It's ringing a bell. It's ringing a bell to me.
Yeah, because I think we've seen a few people leave Karma crew over the last sort of year or so, haven't we? And there was that sort of period of time where we were kind of wondering why, because it seemed like having one person leave is, these things happen. People leave, people move on, people do different things. But to have 2 or 3 people leave in a short space of time, even if it was a year, is unusual. So I don't imagine it ever happening, but I would love to have OG on the podcast to actually talk about that specific time period and sort of maybe his reasons as to why he left Karma crew and then ended up joining Survivors.
Yeah, it would be interesting to
put a link in your chat. If you click on that, it'll give you the full list of people in there.
Oh, okay, let's have a quick look at that.
He was on the front page of Twitch today, Mr. OG, and he was peaked at around 2,500 viewers. He was a really good stream. I was liking him there before I came here.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Is OG. He's entertaining.
Oh yeah, I would love to know what goes into getting that front page shit going though, because the amount of same people that I see on the front page on an almost daily basis, for it seems like for a DayZ streamer to get on there is actually really cool. Like that's that's a really cool thing to see that. So, but I would love to know how they came up with that idea. To actually
somebody actually asked him in the chat, and his response was he just asked his Twitch representative if he could be on the front page, and they sorted it for him.
All right.
So
okay.
Oh well, then again, I suppose he is partnered, isn't he? So it kind of makes sense. He has that little bit of extra pull, so to speak, in a good way, with to get that sort of thing going. And I think it's brilliant. The idea of seeing a DayZ streamer on the front page of Twitch is that on its own with no context is absolutely phenomenal. But then when you add in that it's OG, that just makes it all the better, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's joined a powerhouse team, definitely. I'm just looking for you reading out some of the names, Fox. Yeah, I mean, there's half my friends list in here.
Yeah,
yeah, this is a powerhouse, definitely. I wonder. I'm thinking there's a few sort of former Karma crew members in here. Then I think.
Yeah, you got Lottie, OG.
Yeah.
I think he said he always also made a point of trying to invite smaller, in inverted commas, streamers into the team, and I think he's done well with, inviting a big range of people, from people like Mr. OG to, much smaller streamers. I think it's really a really good initiative that he's doing.
Is it also brought people like who stream in other languages, like they're from different countries, they don't speak English or anything? He's brought them into the team, but they wholly play survival games.
Like Dr. Dreist, he's a hilarious guy. I love him. I love his streams and love when he teams with Paul. But it was only through the survivors that I've became aware of Dr. Dreist. He's a cracking fella by all accounts.
And it actually says in the description of the stream team there at the bottom as well. It actually sort of lays out in the sort of the third paragraph where it starts a history of playing survival games. That paragraph there kind of sums up the requirements, if you like, so to speak, in sort of, to be considered for the stream team to a degree as well. Sort of, you need to be able to grow your own viewership a little bit, have your own community behind you, have that passion for survival games, things like that. So it's not like he's just going, I've seen your name in the community a little bit this week. I'll tell you what, I'll chuck you an invite. What's the worst that can happen? He's actually carefully curating every streamer that he invites into that stream team. And like you say, looking at that list, I mean, he's got people like Digiblast, Aussie Rogue, Lottie, Rivet. He's got Sergeant Raging Snake, Ariana, Happy Bombs. He's got some absolutely phenomenal names in there.
Yeah. It seems like he's not trying to just set up a team for the sake of it. He's got everybody here. Well, all the names that I know, recognise, are all people that can carry themselves very well stream wise. But it looks like he's trying to nurture a bit of talent. It looks like a good team of people. OG will definitely fit in well there as well. I'm not seeing it, but I can see there being a lot of collabs between OG and people in here. Ariana, Running Man, obviously. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Good luck to OG. Wish him the best. All right, this is bringing us towards the end of the cast now. What we do now, usually, so my agenda is saying DayZ Twitter watch, but I have nothing. I don't think there's been too much going on in the world of DayZ Twitter, has there really?
No, I think 110's kind of made it a little bit business-wise for them, rather than the personal replying to people with funny stuff. It's been more, very business first. Let's get 110 out of the way. So I think it's, with the exception of the everything to do with 110, it's been kind of quiet this week for them. Yeah.
Coming up to Christmas now, though, perhaps we'll see more from him.
I think there was a thing about an autumn sale or something, or a fall sale for the Americans in the chats. Where there was something about, I don't know if it was just on console or whether it was on PC. I saw something about getting like the Livonia map for like 20% off or something. I think I know that there's a sale going on in their shop if you want to buy like the physical copies of the map or like a DayZ t-shirt. They've currently got a sale going on those. It's only like a few, like £4, I think, for the maps. So, they're definitely still moving and shaking with it.
Yeah.
Oh, my poor tailbone.
But yeah, we'll hope we'll get a bit more life out of the DayZ Twitter account over Christmas. It'd be good to see loads of people flooding over Christmas as well to play the game. I think especially with the lockdown and everything else going on, good time to do a sale, get people involved.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, don't they normally do like a free weekend around the time they bring out a big update like 110? I've seen them do free weekends on occasion for things like that. I know they did one with when Livonia came out. They did a big free weekend, didn't they? So everyone had the chance to get and play on the map without having to own it, and then you could, once the free weekend was over, that's it. You had to buy it or sod off, essentially. So I'm wondering if they'll do another one, and whether they'll do like a Christmas event on vanilla on official servers as well.
Yeah, I have wondered that if we're going to get any little small something update for Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit disappointed with the Halloween event thing they did. They did the temporary custom Halloween servers, And I mean, other than the fact it was just you couldn't see more than about 50 feet in front of you because it was so foggy, there was nothing else. According to the tweet they put up, they said there was going to be like, I think they alluded to more wolves and then being a bit more dangerous. But over like 3 days, I didn't see a single bloody wolf. So, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that Helkiana did a really good job with her serve, with Willow Glade for having Halloween stuff on and doing an event, it was otherwise it was going to be a bit of a washout. You know, it seems like it's a shame to say, but once again, it was up to community modded servers to come in and kind of save the day and salvage it a little bit.
Little seasonal events and things for special occasions is definitely something that could. Not only is it obviously it keeps the current player base entertained and you know, but it's potential for bringing new players in all the time. Like you say, people. The amount of streamers and stuff, for instance, will, you know, as soon as you get near Halloween time, all the horror games start getting played. You know, if they if they just popped on a little special event, you know, it would probably bring in more coverage, content, players, all that type of stuff. It did seem a little bit lackluster for the Halloween. Hopefully, we'll get something good for Christmas. I don't know really what kind of event you could do for Christmas. Maybe add Helkiana snowballs, and then we can all just have snowball fights. That kind of thing. That could be something good, you know. If you're listening, devs, which I hope you are, please give us some snowballs to throw at each other. Thank you.
We're a simple lot.
Right, it's that part of the show where we have the guest host spotlight of the week. Now, I'm going to be straight up. I am not prepared for this week. I do not have anything to spotlight. I am very, very sorry. It's been a busy week with 1.10 updates and everything else. But first of all, Windstride, has there been anything mod-wise, server-wise, anything like that's caught your attention recently?
Recently, no. Things I'm looking forward to are Asaker, Namausk, and that mod I mentioned, Sud.
That mod,
Really everything that comes to my mind for the moment.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm looking forward to Asaker quite a bit. That's I've seen some of the locations they've created, and it's exciting me. Yeah, that's one to look forward to.
Yes.
That mod Windstride was on about. I just posted a link to the YouTube channel in your chat.
All right. Okay.
Oh yeah, I posted a few links.
Okay. I've got recoil comparison. So he's done one here with. Well, this is to do with.
There's also a link to him testing the dead zone. It's a Discord link. Cross check it.
Ah, Simon Vick. That's a name I recognise. I recognise that name. I'm very sure he tunes into my stream actually.
The other video said it was soft skill based as well for the recoil.
Yes.
Let's have a look there.
New hand animations and more. That sounds very interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy's a talented scripter.
I like that. The idea of soft skills based recoil. That's cool. Oh, okay, so he zooms in faster depending on what stance he's in. Very good, interesting. What's this one here as well? Let's have a quick look.
So it actually goes sort of like up and to the left.
Yeah, you can see a difference.
Realistic.
It does. Yeah, now let's see when he goes back and does this one. Very just jerk. That's actually quite cool.
The vanilla animations are almost like the gun kind of, the barrel just goes straight up but the gun itself kind of looks like it just pops straight back. Whereas with his, it looks like it's a little bit more realistic. It's a bit more realistic recoil with it.
Yeah, and did I notice as well? I'm just checking when he does another shot. Yeah, so every time he takes a shot, the barrel's flicking in a different direction as well. I don't know if you noticed. That's very cool.
Yeah, with vanilla, it seems to all be the same, doesn't it? It seems to be very uniform. It always pops up and to the left ever so slightly. But the recoil patterns for his are very different.
So that makes a big difference to PvP then, definitely.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. Okay. We haven't got time to play out all the video clips right now, but I'm definitely going to check that mod out. Might do it on stream after or later on. But yeah, that's really interesting. Stick a like on that one so I can get back to him easy. Very good. Nice. Okay, what about you, Foxy? Have you got anything you want to highlight for us this week?
Not really. I'm just sat patiently waiting for the mask. That's about it.
I know, guys. That's kind of the overshadowing one at the minute. I think as well. There's not been too many mod releases in the last week that I've noticed. Mostly, like, I think one of the most popular ones is probably this no broken legs thing.
Like that came out very quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, that was out within an instant. What about you, Brim? Have you got anything you want to highlight this week?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I've sort of seen really this week that I've paid a huge amount of attention to was Wobo put out a 50 tips and tricks for 110. So it's basically, the type of clothing you wear. It's a fairly quick video, like he talks quite quickly in it. But it's literally, it is what it says on the tin. It's just 50 tips, how to survive, basically. About the best type of clothing to wear, talking about the food a little bit and how it decays and things like that. So it's a really, really good little informational video. It's, I mean, like I said, it's 6.5 odd minutes long, and it just details everything you could possibly need to know about the new patch, basically.
I must say, Wobo's top tip videos are like an iconic part of DayZ for me. I remember when I first started playing DayZ, every time one of them come out, I was watching it and learning something from it.
Yeah.
So yeah, Wobo's video here. I haven't watched this one yet. I've been watching all his stuff to do with like penetration and all that kind of stuff, and
yeah,
the amount of things that I have learned since he has returned is amazing from his videos.
I've learned more than I will use.
Yeah, exactly.
That cooking pot bomb though, with the grenades in it, that's a hell of a thing. For the current base raiding, with the way the vanilla changed the base raiding, that's a hell of a thing.
There's also a lot of trolling you can do with that. I won't say it on stream because I feel a lot of server owners will hate me for it, but there's a filthy thing that you can do with that that's very, very trolly, that you're not supposed to be able to do on a lot of modded servers. So yeah. But yeah, his videos always good. The effort he puts in, Wobo is
I mean, you can
insane.
see there as well, he's doing some of the penetration tests and things like that. Canopy on the new truck doesn't offer any ballistic protection. You can shoot the battery on the side of the truck and it'll it'll stop the vehicle. Shoot the engine, it'll stop the vehicle. You can crawl underneath the truck because it's got such high clearance. So if someone's trying to run you over, you can either try and jump out the way, or you can risk trying to go prone and hope that they don't, try and steer and overcorrect and hit you with their back tires. So that's going to change a few things.
Yeah, I've seen a few videos where people have just about managed to get down prone underneath the V3S as it's gone over. Like, but yeah, whether you're a veteran to DayZ or a new player, Wobo's videos, top tips, always very, very informative, and will often mean the difference between you being not so good and better at DayZ. Yeah. He will definitely school you in the right direction.
And if you like innuendo and rude jokes, you're laughing. Yes. He's got all of that. The word penetration is used in a great many ways in his videos. And it always leaves me giggling like a fucking child.
Yeah, he doesn't. He definitely doesn't hold back on the innuendo.
It definitely makes it for more interesting videos.
Well, if you haven't seen that anyway, is the link in my? No, I will put the link in my chat now so you can check out.
I think I posted the link.
Did you do it? I don't know. Well, I'll post it again
just
in
check.
case. There we go. We've got it in there. All right. Finally, Val, have you got anything this week you would like to highlight, mate?
Yeah, I do actually. There's an Xbox server which is NCRP, which I believe I've mentioned before. I think for the past sort of since 1.10 came out, they're sitting at the top of the Xbox community servers in terms of people playing on the server. And I think it's just, I don't play much Xbox DayZ. I've played a bit since the Series X came out, but it's really, really good community. And if there's any Xbox players watching, I'd definitely recommend checking out their server. They do Spaggy's Run Die Retry event as well every few months. So it's a really interesting server and a really good community. So
I've seen their name pop up quite a bit recently as well. Even before 1.10, I've seen them quite active on Twitter and things, and sort of replying to various people and things like that. And I've seen quite a lot of people say quite positive things about the server. So I don't play on console anymore, but yeah, like you say, if there's any console players out there watching, especially on Xbox, go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a little bit harder to get a popular console community going. So if it's a popular one, it's probably very, very good then. So definitely check that one out, console players, if you're here. Whew. Where are we at then? We 2 hours 38 minutes. This is
not bad at all.
It's not been a bad one. It's not been a bad one, and it's been really interesting as well. I've enjoyed it a lot. My first host as well. I hope I've managed to entertain you and everything else.
You've done very well, mate.
Do an all right job of it. An all right job. Windstride, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, mate, as a guest. Really enjoyed it. A fan of your work, mate, and I look forward to see what more stuff you come out with in the future.
Yes, and thanks very much.
Yeah, honestly, it's been good having you, mate. We're also we're having a bit of a Christmas special podcast. I think it's on the 19th where we're going to be. Yeah, we're going to be going all day, and any previous guest or modders and things like that, all welcome to drop in. There'll be loads of people in that you probably know. We're just having a bit of a free fall and a bit of a chat about the year of DayZ. Be a pleasure if you joined us, mate.
All right, we'll do.
Awesome.
Thank you for
awesome. No, thank you, mate. Thank you. Nice speaking to you. Val, Brim, Foxy, it's been a pleasure, mate. Thank you for the carry, boys. Appreciated it.
No worries, mate. You did a lot better than you thought you would, didn't you?
All right, it's not been too bad. I've enjoyed it.
The
all right, guys.
One's always the worst. Once you get over it and you get used to it, you're fine.
That's all right. So now, as soon as I end the show, I can just collapse on the floor in a heap.
I won't be too far behind you, I think, at this point.
Mate, I've held in 2.5 hours with my weak bladder here, so that's the first place I'm going. Listen, everyone, thanks again for tuning in. Next week's guest is... I think I've forgotten to put who next week's guest is in my...
I don't know who it is, actually, as well. We've got a channel for it somewhere.
Yeah, let's have a look. I feel like it's called Attendance or something like that. Where is it?
Did he?
Oh, did he? Yeah, actually, I looked last night. Yeah, good shout. That'll be another great show. Look forward to that one. I think, is it Boydie that's hosting next week?
I think so. Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, all being well. If you're wondering where Boydie is, everyone, and you missed the start of the show, he's had a bit of surgery to try and make him look more handsome. It's failed, and he's just taking a bit of a time off to condole himself. You know,
we've usurped him.
Right. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Take it easy, everyone. See you later, Windstride. See you later, Foxy. See you later, Val. Brim.
See you guys.
Take it easy.
See you later, guys.
guys.
Enjoy the rest of your
See you
day.
later.
My heart